Hey everyone, I'm Sean, Somm Wine Guy, and I have got some wine for you. This is the 2018 Craggy Range Gimblett Gravels Vineyard Syrah. This is part of the single vineyard series that Craggy Range does, highlighting unique terroirs. Now, Craggy Range is in Hawke's Bay. They're on the North Island of New Zealand, kind of south and west of the town of Napier, on the east coast of the North Island. And this vineyard is Gimblett Gravels Vineyard, which is in and itself a subregion of Hawke's Bay. So the Gimblett Gravels are a region in New Zealand, one of the only regions in the Southern Hemisphere, if not all of the world, that is a subregion for soil and soil alone. So in 1867, there was an enormous flood that changed the course of the Ngororo River, which is a river that runs kind of along the northern part of Hawke's Bay. It changed the course of the river and it exposed this riverbed. So what they basically had after the flood came through and after the river changed course was 40 meters deep of grey-wacky, kind of tumbled river stones, silt, and sand, which doesn't really sound like a big deal until you start thinking about viticulture and you start thinking about what kind of soil is really good for growing high-quality grapes, especially high-quality red grapes. So that soil in particular being so well-drained, so free, run and dry, and retains heat because of the stones that are on the surface, is an ideal spot for Syrah, Cabernet Sauvignon, Cabernet Franc, Merlot, riper, richer red varieties that maybe would struggle in other parts of Hawke's Bay to actually get properly ripe. In Gimblett Gravels, they are perfect. So that's what Craggy Range is showing off with this particular Syrah, that intensity of this particular soil type in this particular subregion. This is very elegant Syrah. This is not big, bruising, 15% alcohol, knocked you over the head with American oak kind of Syrah Shiraz. This is 13% alcohol. Does see some French oak, about 16 months in partial new French oak, but everything is so well balanced, and with the constant breezes coming off of the water, they have found this balance of juicy, ripe, kind of varietally correct Syrah with all of this pepper and vibrant black and red fruit and spice undertones, and also retaining freshness and structure and tannin. So Craggy Range is a family-owned winery that started in the late 90s. They are on the western side of, southwestern side of Hawke's Bay, kind of right underneath the ridge line that goes up to Timada Peak, which is where the name of the winery comes from. Craggy Range is named for this ridge line, this uplifted seabed that forms the Timada Peak kind of in the southwest part of Hawke's Bay. Beautiful, beautiful area. But sitting in the tasting room or sitting in the restaurant next to the winery and having lunch and looking out the windows at this literally Craggy Range, I totally understood. I was like, I get it. Now I understand why the winery is called Craggy Range, because there's lots of Craggy Ranges in New Zealand, but this one is particularly close to where the winery is. So let's taste the Syrah. Oh yeah, just that pop of smoky black plum, blackberry, black currant. It's all of this juicy black fruit. And there's also, it's not overripe. It's just perfectly ripe fruit character. There is a little bit of that pink peppercorn. There's dried violets. There is a touch of this meatiness, a touch of smoke character. Not smoke taint. I know we're all traumatized, but no, this is like Syrah, smoky, earthy, meaty kind of character. There is a little bit of a vanilla and toasty spices. You're getting a little bit of baking spice, a little bit of cinnamon, clove, nutmeg kind of coming from the oak, but it is subtle. It's not kind of jumping out of the glass. It's third, fourth, even fifth kind of thing that you pick up in this wine. It smells like someone has made like fresh black currant jam with peppercorns as like an additional spice character. And I kind of love it. That's what I want in my Syrah. It has acid first, then this whole wash of all of those black and purple and blue and red fruits. Is like this mixture of fruit punch, kind of different fruit tones and ripenesses. And then on the back you get this spice and earth and smoke. Talk about your end of summer barbecues. There's a wine for you. This is refreshing enough that if it's still hot out, this end of August, beginning of September, if we get those warm days where it's still 25 degrees, you can sit and chill this a little bit, and it's going to be super refreshing with that low-ish for a red wine alcohol. There's still plenty of tannin, so if you're doing bigger, richer dishes, you're doing your barbecued ribs, you're doing... This has enough substance to stand up. Let it warm up a little bit if you want to kind of highlight the fruit and the spice and a little bit more of the alcohol in this wine. Chill it down if you want that freshness and that tang and that nervy tautness. You could just grill forever and be very, very happy just sipping on this wine. When there's only a little bit left in the glass, it changes a little bit. There's less of the fruit, there's a little bit more leather and a little bit more earth. And I appreciate about this particular wine is that it is not fruit forward. There is still fruit, there is still all of that deliciousness to it, but it's almost secondary to all of the leather and the spice and other things. New Zealand is a lot more than just Sauvignon Blanc. Just another example of how diverse and incredible New Zealand is as a wine-producing country. So happy to share with everybody. I hope that you enjoy the Craggy range. Gimblett Syrah. I'm Sean, Somm Wine Guy, and this is Somm Wine Club.